Good morning. Welcome in. How you doing? Thank you for joining us on this brisk Sunday morning. It is a wonderful 32 degrees out right now. Good morning, Mr. Fred.
You hear me now?
I can hear you now, sir. Thank you. How's life down your way?
Alright. Oh, what, my phone gets perfect.
That's no fun.
I'm freezing. But not cold as you are. I'm cold.
Yeah, I brought a blanket out, wrapped up in it, because my dumbass forgot to throw my clothes in the dryer last night, and that's where my good sweatpants are. So, yeah, good job, Chris. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna reset my phone. I'll get back to you in just a second.
no, you're fine, bud. I'm just sharing the links, getting people in here, hopefully. Oh, people's is already here. Somebody's talking. Good morning, Dave. Dave said, good morning, Fred. There's the Rumble link. Now it's time for X. Excellent. Whoa, hello. As my phone decides it's going to go flying around the place. I might actually have to put my hood up because the exposed skin on my forehead actually hurts. I need to shut up. There's people out there that are homeless out in this shit, and here I am complaining about dealing with a little bit of cold, you know. I'm trying to be more thankful about things and keep things in perspective better. Oh my. Well then, these guys are all pissed off at me. Hey, he can't roll. It doesn't end well. This one just rolled off my lap. Facebook. But you know, last night I had asked people to stop and get cat food. And they came home and I'm like, well, where's the cat food? Oh, we forgot. Oh, yeah, that's nice. So now
So
I've got
tonight, when you get ready to make dinner, just don't say, "Oh, I forgot."
well, I should. But
Oh shit! There's trouble.
it's already made.
What's up, Fred? Chris?
Mike, you cold?
What's going on, Mike?
Nada.
Where am I heading next?
Getting overrun by bucks this morning.
Oh yeah?
Five of them out there this morning.
It's a good problem to have.
Is it dinner time?
Yeah, damn near dinner time. I think the first one I seen, was at least a 10 point. And I seen 4 small ones.
Oh, look good on your wall.
Huh?
Look good on look
Go ahead, Fred.
good on my smoker.
I was talking about the mount your head, the head on your wall there, Mike. I said it would look good there.
A lot of feedback. Can't figure that out.
Morning, Thomas. Shit. 35 here, 55 from storms tomorrow. Yeah, I know Cal and Jay got smacked, and if they got smacked, that means Lady Cat got hit really hard this morning. Let me actually text message her and see if she answers.
Made it.
I was gonna say, I thought I sent you a link.
Yeah. You did.
What's
Been a
going
long
on,
morning.
bud?
Didn't sleep very good.
I'm sure. That's a hell of a way to get woken up.
Just trying to warm up. I've been soaking wet the last couple hours.
That sounds fun.
I've been outside a lot. Checking the roof. I just took a good look at it. Took another look. The sun's coming up now. Looks like we made it.
Yeah.
I don't think I lost any trees. It looks pretty good. So,
Very nice.
just a fun morning. Early morning.
You don't have any new cows on the property?
No? Haven't noticed any. I'd make them stay if they showed up, though.
Well, probably be dragging your leg shortly.
Yep. I got extra freezer space.
There you go.
Take care of that real quick.
So apparently last night I didn't turn the power strip off. I just turned the light off and forgot that I had turned the coffee pot on. So the coffee maker's been on all night. Thankfully it had stuff in it so it didn't burn up or anything. But that's going to be some really strong ass coffee.
Yeah, that'd be a new pot of coffee.
Put my flags back over my door. Everything got blown off the porch here.
So yeah, we're just going to do a little get together this morning, hang out for a couple of minutes and check on each other and hopefully have a couple laughs and start our day. I've got to leave here and me, Mom, and Ryan are taking the trailer down and picking up some we're picking up a bandsaw and a drill press.
Nice.
And adding that to our little. There's Cora.
Yeah, I woke Cal up. I thought he might show up too.
He's gonna hop on here in a minute. You said to give him a little bit.
Weird. Thank you.
Cora is
My
off
kitty's
to the
all
rain room, but she will be listening.
my kitty's all wet.
Oh no.
She's out here meowing at me and it's all wet.
Mine are pissed off because they're hungry.
Fur's all matted up.
I like the story of you went to go into the shelter and he had already beat you
Yeah,
to it.
he ran. Both cats were inside, and all
Can't leave
this
me
80
outside,
mile an hour
fucker.
wind came through, and it was blowing all my shit off the porch and stuff. And like I got the first alert, and I was like, I don't give a shit. I don't want to get out of bed. And then the second alert came, and I was like, all right, I better look at it. It says tornado warning. And I was like, no freaking way. And then the wind started going nuts, and like I heard shit hitting the side of the house and stuff. I was like, okay, I'm getting out of bed.
Right?
And of course, me being Okie, I go out onto the front porch, to see what the hell's going on. And it got soaked immediately, and the cats just ran right inside. I was like, well, you're pretty smart, I guess. So they got inside. They were kind of standing in the middle of the house and stuff. And I opened up the the closet under the stairs, and I went ahead and got Charlie his food because he was hungry. I figured I might as well feed him. And I go back to the closet and I turn on the light, and there's Luke sitting there all the way back in the closet, sitting there looking at me like, I'm ready, Dad. It's funny. He's my favorite animal. And yes, I can pick favorites with my own animals, so you guys have to get over that. I do have a favorite.
Okay. I have my favorites too.
Yeah, he's my oldest buddy, man. I mean, we've moved together 4 times ever since the divorce and everything, or 3 times. Yeah, I guess it's 3 times we moved together, and we've always been together over these last 12 years. So he's my buddy.
There you go, Dave. There's a kitty MMA for the morning.
And my cat
Actually, it's
Frito,
Saturday.
he's always just a tough guy. He just jumped up on the table and was like, "Where's breakfast?" He didn't give 2 shits about what was going on outside, except where he was getting wet.
No. Uh-oh. Dave's gonna go nuts. He says 6 watching and 2 likes. I'm scratching my head. Mom's out here. Hi, Callie. I don't know if I'll come in here. Here, let me see if I can instigate some.
Oh, I got a squirrel out there.
What? And Young's like, I'm ready for my close-up. Oh shit. I'm goofy as shit, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm tired. Good morning, Cassie. How you doing? Cora, I'm not repeating that because that'll get me in trouble. Well, yeah, apparently I messed up last night when I was out here, and it's old coffee. I need to go get some. It got made at 11 o'clock last night and was on all night. Okay, it was a mistake.
You're not allowed.
No, I'm not allowed to make mistakes. You're right there, Fred.
Well, here it is.
All right, let me.
I'm going to be watching and listening, but I got to get out. I'll make room for somebody else.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Cal.
Oh,
Yours is slow this morning, huh? Thomas, my brain is slow this morning.
Yeah, I was texting Cal way too early this morning and telling him, like, there's incoming.
so I took a quick look around the back. No major flooding and no trees down. I'm fine.
Good.
I'm lucky.
Well, glad
I'm
to
doing
hear
good
it.
too, man. I got the brunt of it, and everything held up. So
Yeah, the warnings I got from my area was only 60-mile-an-hour winds.
yeah, it seems to, just like a year and a half ago, and it was also a Sunday morning on Father's Day, a year and a half ago, we had something very similar come through. And same kind of thing, I was just sitting here thinking about it, like, this year it was the time change on a Sunday morning. A year and a half ago, it was Father's Day on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, I just realized the time change went through because my computer clock does not match my watch.
Yeah.
All right, so I just got done sending a lady cat a message checking on things.
I think she's a little further south from me. They got it pretty good too, though.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we check on her. That's all.
Making some coffee. I actually need it today. I don't sleep too good when there's storms all night. Wakes me up.
Same here. Same here. I'm constantly worried about a tree falling in.
Yeah. I think it's just there was some pretty good thunder and it was shaking the whole house.
That's always
So it kind of wakes me up.
Let's see. Dave said YouTube. I stopped answering your surveys after you removed one of my favorite channels. Sorry, not sorry. Thomas said lots of channels getting banned. I'm sure we'll be one of them eventually.
Oh, yeah.
Only, I
Especially
really
after
don't want
Tuesday, no matter who wins or who loses.
Yeah, I just watched something on Benny Johnson. I guess there's some big trend or something about some squirrel named Peanut.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was a squirrel in New York State who was a YouTube star. And their Department of Environmental Enforcement or whatever, basically their litter cops, came in, seized the squirrel, seized the raccoon, put them to death. I'm sorry, unalived them. Even though the owner was in the process of moving the paperwork through to make them official pets under New York law. Which I think is ridiculous because he's been nursemaiding that squirrel for 7 freaking years, and the raccoon was a rescue too. They were animal ambassadors being used to teach children about wild animals.
The neighbors called and reported them as possible rabies carrier.
Well, yeah, of course. Probably some stupid ass city slickers that don't know the difference.
Come on, Yang. Mom's trying to get Yang.
Somebody needs to report the neighbors for being possible candidates for a mental asylum.
Better yet, say they were at Diddy parties.
Yeah.
More shit has been coming out about that too. Ashton Kutcher is not looking good, let me tell you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it looks like both of them were very deeply involved in the Diddy parties.
Hi, Yang.
Yeah, such a good-looking
Hi,
guy.
baby.
Would never have to worry about getting women getting involved with something like that. I just don't understand.
Well, it wasn't the women he had a problem with.
Oh, what?
It's the little girls.
He's sliding up with little boys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He likes him a little on the young side. Not quite out of the nest yet. Sick. Can't say those words. Can't say those words. Not on YouTube. But you know what I'm thinking? Wood chipper. That's where they all freaking belong. Every last one of them. It pisses me off.
There's just no excuse for that unless you're just like a terrible human being. I mean,
They're terrible human beings.
I've been with underage girls, but that's before I turned 18.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That's
We've all
illegal.
been there.
yeah. Well, we
Well,
were
most,
well,
most,
not
most
all of us.
states
Not
have
all of
defense
us.
laws for that.
But
Not all of us. I didn't get my first girlfriend until I was 22. So
Looks like I'm smoking.
yeah, and she was close to your age.
she was 19. She was 19. That was my first girlfriend. If you're talking about Mrs. Cal, she's a month older than me. We weren't officially boyfriend and girlfriend yet. We were just really close. And this is before I met her in person. And she was seeing somebody else at the time who later became like my best bro. So go figure on that one. Her ex and I ended up being like, I mean, he was a good guy. He was just lazy as fuck. I mean, lazy. Well, that's the reason she broke up with him. The man didn't have any drive at all. Also wasn't very good in bed either.
Dave goes,
Thomas.
there may be an uprising. It might be over a fucking squirrel laugh my fucking ass off. They keep pushing, never
It might win the election.
Thomas says my squirrels are packing heat now.
Yeah, Thomas.
Good morning,
That's a
James.
good one.
James
Good morning,
Coates has
James.
entered. How are you, sir? Nice to meet you. Have you back again? I'm sorry. Excuse my brain fog.
It's good to be back on in the mornings. Hope you're feeling better, Chris.
Well, I have no heat, and I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning, so we're doing good. I just said to hell with it. I'm going to come out and do it anyway.
I have heat, but I've been up since about 1:30, rolling around and stuff.
I zonked out between storms last night, and I just stayed asleep. Nothing loud enough to wake me up happened. So, I mean, my roof's intact, my house is intact. I'm fine. You know, that's all I can really ask for.
I didn't look at the shop yet. I better look at the shop.
Oh,
I always forget about the shop.
Yeah, I want to take a look.
come on, Yang. What are you doing, you butthead?
Yeah, it's fine.
Come on, Yang.
It's probably flooded. Go look inside. That might not be too bad.
Come here, baby boy. Here's my buddy. Yang came into the shed to say hi to me,
I guess
and
I
just
won't.
that quick, he's gone again. Little shithead. Yeah, like I said, we're going down to pick up that equipment and then make a couple stops on the way home. We're going to take a couple propane tanks and exchange them, I believe.
Good
That
idea.
way I have heat tomorrow morning. But I had a thought and it just ran away.
Your train of thought is still boarding at the station.
Get out here and take a good look.
Gotta put that on a leash, Chris.
Hold on, I gotta go see what Thomas posted. Oh, good lord. Thomas. I gotta show
Yeah, we
you.
made it. Yeah, we made it. I'm good. Thank God. I don't want to have to call the insurance folks and pay them $1,500.
Thomas posted this on Discord.
That is not gonna make my
Tell me what
cat
it is. I
happy.
can't see anything.
Oh my. That's funny, Thomas. So, what's everybody got planned for the coming week? Anything big and exciting plans, or just anyone just relaxing, chilling this week?
Well, I pick up the kids tomorrow. I'll drop them off at school Tuesday morning, and then I'm going to go vote. And then I'm going to eat lunch with kind of an old best friend of mine. I just did some work for him on his computer and stuff. And that's about it. Lots of leaves to take care of. I think the burn ban should be over with, so hopefully I can do some homesteading and burn off some of it. I got lots of brush piles I got to burn off and stuff, so I've just been waiting.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Nothing to ask. Just to burn all that stuff off. So we get it all drug up, make a good pile, get it all burned. I've been waiting for a while to do that. That's about it for me. Just hoping I don't get some damage tonight. They say more severe storms are coming this evening, so
yeah.
Hopefully I don't get any damage
out your way.
Yeah, they were saying 5.1 inches is the highest recording around Tulsa, and that was like 5 a.m. They were saying that, and it's been raining ever since. It's just now backing off. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got about some areas around here already have 6 inches of rain. So it's soggy. We got more coming. So.
Yep. I'm more worried about Tuesday and what's going to happen the day after.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, that's for sure.
Interesting isn't the word. Interesting isn't the word.
That's a little hard.
Pennsylvania is looking like it is just being ripped apart by lawyers on both sides. Georgia looks like it's going to be a lost cause because they just had a ruling that says that Fulton County can basically do whatever the fuck they want, which, you know, that's Atlanta. So, you know, they're just going to dump 1 million votes from illegal aliens or whatever and throw the state to Kamala Harris because Raffensperger is a piece of burger.
Be nice.
You know, the news people are geared up and ready for all this bullshit.
Yeah, even if Trump does win, let's see, I forget who it was now, but one of the representatives in Congress basically said,
Jamie
Raskin, yeah, thank you, says we're going to refuse to certify Trump's election, which they can't now because they took that power away after Pence, not realizing that it could be used against him in the future. I mean, you know, Trump wasn't supposed to survive this long. That's the only reason this is an issue. They were banking on either him being unalived or they were banking on, you know, him just not running. You know, they were either because at one point he said he was offered a bribe of like $5 billion not to run again by various special interest groups, and he refused. He refused a bribe of $5 billion. Yeah, they're getting desperate now. They're
running out of options too. So
yeah, and
start thinking about what their other options are.
Yeah, and their voter fraud in Pennsylvania is getting exposed right and left. Not to mention that the Amish, something like 80,000 Amish are voting for Trump as a block. Yeah. You know, it really looks. I honestly think Trump may just get Pennsylvania despite the cheating. There was one guy who said that based on past voting records, unless Philadelphia and Pittsburgh suddenly dump an extra 1 million votes apiece, the Democrats are going to lose the state in anything even resembling a slightly fair count.
Minnesota's in play too now.
Yeah, that's insane. The Somalis have all decided to back Trump, and I don't think they were expecting that. You know, this is really good on Trump's strategy. He's fighting deep behind enemy lines trying to find weaknesses in the enemy's defenses. He's looking for the places where the cheat really isn't quite fixed in, like it is in, say, California, where they work very, very hard to make sure that voters on one side get everything they want and all the voters on the other side are completely disenfranchised. I've spoken about that before, how they've disenfranchised Republican voters in California, my personal experience with it. So, New Hampshire's in play. That's another one. Trump is working to try and get to the places where the enemy does not have as much cheating deeply ingrained in their voting system. They're just kind of counting on regular people voting for them because, we're the Democrats. You got to vote for us,
Morning,
So,
Andrea.
morning, Andrea.
Morning, Andrea.
Morning.
So while we may lose Georgia, we may end up picking up like New Hampshire and, if by some miracle happens, Minnesota. There's also a good chance we could pick up Michigan despite all of their cheating, because all the Arab Americans are basically either voting for Trump or they're voting for Jill Stein or they're not voting at all. Hardly any of them are going to be voting for Harris because all their imams and stuff have basically told them don't. And they still listen to their religious leaders as like the next best voice in their personal lives. So, Trump is employing a very interesting attack in depth strategy. And he might run away with, if he runs away with Minnesota and New Hampshire, it doesn't matter really if he loses Georgia. I think Georgia is 16 votes. Let me check. Because New Hampshire and Minnesota together are 14, I do believe. Yeah, New Hampshire is, okay. Looking at the latest map, Minnesota and New Hampshire are very light blue, and this is, of course, a slanted map. So, it is not an honest one. But yeah, New Hampshire and Minnesota are 14 electoral votes together, and Georgia is 16. So if he loses Georgia, as long as he can still take North Carolina and Minnesota by some miracle,
It's okay.
All he would need is one other state and he wins, out of all of the semi-toss-up states. And if he wins Wisconsin too, that would be nice. I mean, if the vote was freaking honest, it would be a massive blowout. Hell, there's even a chance he could carry New Mexico, which would be very interesting. Yeah,
Thomas said by going into the deep blue will pay off for him.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's trying to find the places where the cheating is weak, but he can still reach the hearts of true Americans.
Well, he's going where they're not. They're taking it for granted that they're going to get it.
Yeah.
So they're not doing the ground game.
Yeah. Hell, New York might even be in play. I mean, if the vote was honest.
Yeah. Well, after that squirrel thing, that
could be.
It's crazy that's
flip
going to
just enough people.
That might piss enough people off that it affects the election.
Yeah. You never know. At this stage, literally anything, right up to and including divine intervention and the coming of the rapture, could absolutely flip this election. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Because what was it? There were was Georgia and Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin and Arizona were all saying, we may not know the results until Thursday or Friday. Yeah, well, it may not matter. It really may not. I mean, once a district gets to 98% of its registered voters, and it's such a massive win for Trump, if they try to cheat that off and dump another 100,000 votes for Harris, everybody will know. They'll see it in real time. And unlike 2020, not only is Trump and Musk and everybody else ready for this, they've already got lawyers forward deployed ready to say no. And I think it was James O'Keefe is has been sending out hidden camera kits to poll watchers, saying, you know what, if you see any, just turn it on. Don't worry about it. Just plug it in, turn it on. And you know, if there's any cheating that goes on and you see it, it'll be caught on camera, and we'll just, you know, there's our court evidence. So, you know,
well, it probably wouldn't be admissible if they're not allowed to have cameras and it's a hidden camera. I don't know if they'll be able to use that as evidence.
Right.
It depends. I mean, it's also going to depend on what kind of a judge we get.
Well, all it's going to take is for one idiot to say I didn't give him permission to film me, and you know
that also depends on the state too.
It's public. If they're out in
Yeah.
public, they don't have a right to privacy if it's a public building.
Yeah.
Which technically a voting center kind of sort of is. And it's really going to come down to the judge. You know, if the judge rules that they're acting, you know, as in a certain interest or whatever, it may be declared inadmissible. But really, you know, if they launch 100 cases about fraud and they manage to go to trial with just 30 of them, that's more than enough. You know, it's all about saturation at that point. Anybody has ever run a machine gun, you know, you're not going to hit with every single bullet, but the ones you do hit are devastating. And, you know, that just firing the damn thing can turn the tide of a battle. And that is essentially what O'Keefe is trying to do. He's trying to put as many of them out there as possible so he can have as many cases as possible. He's already admitted to shipping out 50 kits. Now, if I know these guys, they're not going to publicize every single kit that they've sent out. He says 50, the actual number is probably triple that, you know? So, really, this is going to be one hell of a fight. It may not be over on election night, even if everybody plays nice and reports, you know, at least theorizes the reporting of their electoral vote results. And, you know, after that, we've got faithless electors. We've got court cases to try and flip, you know, because I know Trump at this point, any case where there is any hint at all of bullshit, he is going to throw it into the courts, and he's going to try and squeeze and wring every electoral vote out of the system that he can. He's not going to stop just because it's a small case. He's going to take up every single one, because that is the winning strategy. Because, you know, like I said, next you've got faithless electors to worry about. You know, there's going to be a few. Either they went to a Diddy party, or they've been offered a large sum of money, or mysterious photos of their children going to school will be sent to their email. You know, shit happens. And I absolutely expect the entrenched power to do whatever they think they can get away with. So we end up with a couple of faithless electors. All right, well, if he's ahead by 316 electoral votes, you know, it doesn't matter so much. They'd have to flip a whole lot of them. If he's only ahead by 271, then they only have to flip 2 for a tie. And even if it's a tie, we all know that Congress absolutely will not permit Trump to take office. It just won't happen. They might allow Vance to become vice president, but it's going to be a Harris-Vance presidency. It'll be split. Because I don't, you know, Tim Walz isn't even popular among his own people. So I don't see him becoming vice president, but it doesn't really matter. Harris will be the one in charge, and Vance will constantly be fighting with her. And, you know, and if they can flip 3, well, then Trump loses. You know, 3 faithless electors, and, you know, Trump's going to litigate that. So there's going to be so much shenanigans going on this coming week. It's going to be absolutely insane. So for any of you in the audience that haven't done so yet, do some shopping on Monday. I am imploring you, make sure if you have the money to do so, stock up on essentials. Basically, make sure you don't need to go shopping for at least a week or two, if at all possible. Why? Because we don't know where the world is going to be in 2 weeks. It's that bad. Because if the Democrats get absolutely blown out and you happen to live in a slightly blue area, you might see some interesting people with pitchforks and torches deciding to lay waste to the local community just because they're having a spaz out or they've been bribed to do so. And equally, you know, if Kamala Harris does win, something else might happen. We don't know. You know, there might be a popular uprising on the other side too. Hell, I wouldn't doubt it, because if Trump gets to the point where it's just impossible, they make it impossible for him to win or take power or whatever. Yeah, there's going to be at least a segment of the population that is going to say, "Yep, well, we tried it the nice way. Now we're going to do it the other way." Not that I'm endorsing violence of any kind. I'm just saying it very well could happen. And 2 weeks from now, you're looking at, well, either we're having riots or we're having a civil war, second revolution, whatever you want to call it. At that point, it doesn't really too much matter. Yeah, stock up in your gas, your propane, food, pet food, medicines if you can. Absolutely everything you can do to just hunker down for like 2 weeks. Please, I am imploring you, because I don't know how crazy it's going to get. And the last thing I want to hear is that somebody from the audience decided to go out to the store for some donuts and they got hit by a mob and, they're in the ER or worse.
Got killed over some toilet paper.
Yeah, or some crazy shit like that. So just, and for God's sakes, if you do have to go out and you have the legal right to do so, please carry something to protect yourself with. Because shit could get absolutely insane. But remember, of course, just be very, very careful if you have to deploy it. We have seen what happens when unrest like this starts on either end of the political spectrum, and what happens to peaceful people who just want to be left alone and get caught in the middle of it. Usually the local DA will be like, "Ooh, do you think it's self-defense, huh? No."
Well,
it's
especially
racism.
now, because anything like this, just like J6, they're going to be looking to make examples of people because they don't want to see an uprising happen again, in the future. So they're going to be looking to make examples of people.
Yeah. So just be judicious in your application of self-defense. But for God's sakes, if it comes down to carried by 6 or judged by 12, go with judged by 12. Please.
Yeah, they're going to be having, we know they're going to have National Guard at the Capitol. They won't make that mistake a second time.
Well, because it's been so publicized that they can't actually have a good excuse. I mean, there's no way they would do that again. There's a lot of things they wouldn't dare try again, I believe. But I mean, I'm surprised all the time, the audacity that they have as far as the shenanigans that they pull. So, like I was saying, just be ready for everything, because I mean, we've seen it all, and it only keeps getting worse and more profound. And like I said many times before, it just makes me think it's kind of an end game. Like, they're doing these things. Slap us in the face with it, and just because we can't do shit about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're running out of options.
They are.
We'll have to see how this thing unfolds.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get more and more desperate depending on how it unfolds. I mean, we could even be going into the war in overseas again.
Yeah.
I mean, they could just pop that off anytime and just cancel whatever electoral process we had going on. But like I said, they're running out of options. There were several before. Now it's narrowing down to about half of those options. And as we're getting closer, we'll just have to see how it works out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just keep your head on a swivel, and if you live in a good community with people that are like-minded like you, I would reach out to them and kind of put a minor game plan together. Just keep an eye out, and if you see something suspicious, call the neighbor and say, "Hey, this doesn't look right." Maybe keep an eye out. Make sure that nothing crazy's happening. So.
Yeah, well, if you haven't had your head in the sand for the last 16 years, you would have already noticed. Things are kind of crumbling. Even when Trump was in, I mean, with all the scandals and everything, the Russia and everything, and how desperate they were getting to get him out and everything. I mean, there was definitely a definite turn that we could notice. So hopefully everybody's been paying attention for quite some time, over a decade, and have been getting ready already. So I know there's been a lot of people saying it for a long time, but hopefully people at least are starting to pay attention now and starting to get ready for, just get have a month's worth of supply, maybe some water, some food, go get you a couple packages of toilet paper. I know that's a valuable commodity, it seems like, but make sure you got your medications on hand and everything you need, and we'll just sit back and kind of watch it happen.
Yeah, stop.
I don't get the whole thing of shit tickets being so valuable. I mean, raise your hand if you've been dirt fucking poor and you used a rag at one time because you couldn't afford TP.
Yeah, rag was good. You
Or you just been out in the car somewhere and you had to go and didn't have a choice. You used paper towels or something.
Yeah,
or whatever.
For crying out loud.
Or drag your ass across the grass like a dog.
I've done it all.
Never did that one. But
my just, go down
I've left a T-shirt in a cornfield already.
Yeah, I think we've all been there at least once. But yeah, so yeah, exactly. Just keep your head on a swivel, get as prepared as you possibly can, and just wait it out as best as you can. If things pop off and you decide that maybe you need to defend your home by being somewhere else, you got to be ready for that too. I know there's going to be at least, we've got 12 people in the audience plus the 4 of us. There's going to be at least one person here that's going to be thinking, yeah, well, maybe I ought to go do this over here. Just make yourself ready, because Tuesday is really going to be the precipice for our constitutional republic. Do we fall to communism, or do we actually have freedom? Because if Harris gets in, that's it. We're done. Pack it in. It's been a nice 250 years, but we're done. We will absolutely be destroyed. Our dollar is going to be worthless. We are going to be flooded by so many new arrivals that they will permanently flip every single swing state to them. And there won't be a Republican that'll get into any major office ever again. We'll never have, a Republican majority in Congress. We'll never have, anything. We will be completely dominated by them. It will basically be like a giant California, and we'll just have to kind of huddle in the darkness and just hope they don't take away all of our rights that day. Every day that we wake up, it'd be like living in the freaking Soviet Union.
Energy prices will be insane.
Yeah, everything's going to be insane. Get in the pod and eat the bug.
Did you all see where Fetterman actually
did Rogan? Yeah,
he was on Rogan and Joe pushed that point on him, and he conceded that point.
Some of his answers just blew me the fuck away with how he has to have his what the fuck's that called? Where he sees the words.
His teleprompter.
Yeah, he has to see that to answer right. And at one time, Joe asked him a question. He was like, no, yeah. And he went on for another 30 seconds and he said, what'd you say? And I'm like, this guy in an emergency situation would be as bad a news as the emergency situation.
Yeah. Although I have to say that ever since Fetterman started to recover, he's had some pretty hot takes for a Democrat, which honestly, I was. Well,
but he's still out there. I mean, he's saying this right and he's saying this wrong, and this here he just don't know, and he's always calling himself an idiot and saying he's not that smart. That's not the kind of leader I want. I want a leader that's fucking competent. That's going to say, I know what I'm doing. But this guy ain't doing that. Most of them ain't.
Well, and here's the thing. They fucked him over by not giving him the time to go through the right therapies, and he's at the point now that that's permanent.
Yeah,
the disability that he has is never going to get better.
Yep. Well, I mean, there's a pattern there. I mean, they did the same thing to Joe.
Yeah,
I mean,
because they don't give a fuck about him.
They just forced him through there because he was the face and he had to get it done.
Well, they like all these people that ain't that bright in there because they're easier to control. That's why they don't like Trump, because they can't control him.
Yeah,
or they damn sure got to fight their ass off to control him.
Yeah, well, and they're scared the shit of him because
absolutely,
he was part of their club until he
wasn't.
He knows all their little secrets.
Yeah, now he does. Yeah, after that first 4 years, he's going to do a lot better this time because he knows where the rats are. He knows where all the pitfalls are.
Well, we need
he doesn't have to worry about the election either. So if he gets in, it's on, I think.
We also need to, and not just put term limits on the candidates that are going into Congress and service, but also the people who are allowed on the staff, because the staff are...
They do more than the actual guy, Yeah, they actually do the majority of the work, technically.
Yep. They're the ones that set everything up and read through the bills and help them write the bills and
finalize them, and
they push a lot of this shit.
Yeah, the other thing we really need to do is we absolutely need to have rock solid enforced election integrity laws nationwide. The next 4 years, if Trump gets into office and is allowed to take power, we need to march from sea to shining sea to get absolute rock solid election integrity going. Absolute rock solid. Because if we don't, we're just going to end up in this exact same position again in a few years. Especially once the next census comes out. If there's any, finger pushing on the scales like there was the last time. I mean, we now know that like Texas, Florida, and a couple of other states that are Republican states should have had at least one more electoral vote apiece. And like New York and California should have lost an additional one or two. Yeah, we know that there's shenanigans going on with the frickin' census. Just expect it. Howdy. And so, we just got to expect that at this point. What we need to do is we need to make sure that at least the voting is shored up so that we can get as fair of a vote as possible in the next few election cycles. Because if we can keep this energy up and we can say, hey, look, you had another great 4 years under Trump. Well, here's Vance. Here's J.D. Vance. He is young. He is handsome. Look at those beautiful blue eyes. And look at his gorgeous wife and all that. Look, he's going to be just as good as Trump, just not quite as rich. And he was a Marine. So he is tough and he will get shit done. And look at, his record for the last 4 years. That's the good thing about having a good president, unlike the Harris-Biden situation. They can honestly say, look, I did 4 great years as vice president. I got shit done. Vote for me, and then we can get 8 years with Vance. And then maybe Vivek or Trump Jr. or somebody else from the side wants to run. And, but that's the thing. We're not going to get that, even if we defeat them now, even if they just call it off. And they retreat. They put up a bit of an effort, but they in the end they just retreat and they let Trump have the 4 years. If we don't do anything about election integrity, 4 years from now, we're not going to have Trump. We're not going to have that kind of energy again. Right. That's why this is a very much all or nothing next 4 years.
If Trump gets in there, they're going to spend the next 4 years planning for what happens in 4 years. I mean,
Trump is one guy. I mean, he's not. If you've been paying attention over, more than the last decade, if you've been paying attention, I mean, it's hard. The system's already rigged. Like,
quite.
All the people that need to be in there to get whatever they want to get done, they're in there already.
Yeah.
You know, Trump's not going to be able to drain the swamp. He's not going to be able to get all of them out. You know, even if Trump gets elected, you know, we might have a great 4 years and have a lot of hope instilled into us. But I mean, eventually, ultimately, it's gonna revert back to politics, and even worse.
Politics is a building that needs to be torn down and completely rebuilt.
Indeed. Unfortunately, we kind of have to do it while we're standing inside of it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way my dad put it.
When
Thomas
they're
brought up
stealing from underneath us, you know. So
Thomas brought up something too that I want to touch on before it disappears here.
Yeah.
He said about paper maps. Get paper maps if you don't have them.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
If you need maps that you can print out, let me know which ones you want. I will take pictures of them and I will send them to you so you can print them out. Can you please not ban people off of my
kitties?
Also, there's some good survival books out there, you know, like edible plants and stuff, how to preserve meats and things like that you can get that are really helpful. You know, just anything on paper, you know, because it's very possible that we could lose internet access at the minimum. Most likely it would be more like a blackout, you know, if the power goes out, you know, we won't have access to that kind of thing. So any kind of hard copy of any kind of, you know, old timey, you know, how to make medicines from wild plants or what plants are edible, stuff like that would be very helpful.
All right. Fred, who has the booger? Fred said somebody on the live has a booger hanging out their nose.
Do I?
Not me.
Not me.
I think I do. Here, let me stick my fingers in there and make sure.
I checked my nose. It's running a little bit, but nothing. I mean, it's just a cold.
I double dipped. Yep, I don't got anything.
I'm good too.
I don't think. I had to restart because I didn't think my video was working, but
it was working at like 1 frame a minute there, buddy.
Oh yeah.
But no, this next week is just going to be crazy. Oh, and very, very important. In addition to all of your earthly preparations, pray for yourself, for your family, for your safety, for your salvation. Pray. At the very least, if everything goes sideways, make yourself right with the man upstairs.
On our Discord page, under the survival tab, you can find, I put a copy of some books down there. Thomas has shared a lot of really good stuff on there that you can download.
Thank you, Thomas.
So yeah, and then I'm always sharing, my Patriot Supply always has stuff on sale. And when they have something that I think will really benefit everybody, I post it on there. You know, the big things to get from there are going to be, first off, your iodine tablets to help with any kind of radiation sickness.
Oh God, I hope we don't go that route, but yeah, you're right.
Well, I'd hope so too.
Man, if I see
water
a flash,
filtration,
I'm running outside, and I'm just gonna let it happen.
Yeah, there isn't really too much you can do when the sun rises in the wrong place. I mean, yeah, you can go for the iodine.
I'm just running outside.
I'm just gonna grab a bottle of whiskey, a handful of beers, handful of smoke, weed, go out, sit on a lawn chair, and
vegetate.
Have at it.
I don't want to survive that shit.
Yeah, we need it.
Dave, the
I'll
man
poke around
upstairs
for a
loves you
while.
no matter what. All you have to do is repent and talk to him, and just try your best to live a good life. That's it, buddy.
Remember, Dave, Jesus loves you. He loves you no matter what you've done. It doesn't matter how bad of a sinner you are. If you come to him and ask for forgiveness, he will give it, because that is what the kind of person he is.
He even loves me, even though you will think I'm an asshole.
I don't think you're an asshole. I've never called you an asshole.
Even if you keep screwing up, he'll keep
Yeah.
on forgiving you.
Yeah.
But you are supposed to repent. So
Yep.
let's not forget
Make
that.
sure your
That's
apology is earnest. Yeah, just make sure your apology is earnest, and he will forgive you. That is the basic tenets of being a Christian. We're all about slow, gradual self-improvement, or as a friend of mine once said, try to be 1% better every day. That's all we can ever try to do.
Well, I hate to do this, y'all, but I forgot to bring the cord out with me. My balls are up in my throat because it is cold in here. And yeah, I'm gonna hop off here and go get ready to go pick up some power tools and
All right.
stuff. So
What time is it?
it is
8
Eastern
o'clock.
time.
8 o'clock our time, buddy.
I think it's about time to go to the feed store. I gotta.
Yep. Everybody
Go down
take
and-
care.
Have a great day. Yeah, I gotta stop and get cat food while I'm out.
Mhm.
Make sure I get these guys fed when I get home.
Yeah,
But I will see you at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and we'll see what kind of shit we can get up to.
Yep.
All right.
Everybody take
I'll go to
care.
the feed
Have a
store.
good
I'm gonna look
Sunday.
for damage. Hopefully.
All right, good
Alright.
day, everybody.
All right,
Thanks
guys.
for hanging out, guys and gals. Appreciate y'all. Love you. And yeah, if you need any kind of information survival wise, let me know, and I will make sure that I will get you what I can find. If I can't find it, I know people who can. But yeah, we'll see y'all later. Be safe. Peace. We're out,
Peace.
y'all.